You mentioned the idea that it's often quite hard for data scientists to know that they're using the right data set. This seems like something that's incredibly important. You want to be using the right data, and that's a very important part of data quality. So why is it such a big problem for data scientists to find which is the right data set to use for any particular analysis?
Yeah, I mean, to put it simply, we have too many data sets, you know? So in the past, when we didn't have all these data sets, a lot of data analysts and data scientists were able to just, export the raw data and then prep it to create the reports. And that was fine. And a lot of this analysis has been done in like Excel spreadsheets in the past, and we lived fine. But now we want to have live dashboards, data that is enriched from multiple data sources, that is up to date, and that does provide a richer and more accurate results for our decisions. To make that happen, and I would say in the past, the complaints, and this could still be the complaints today, but in the past, the biggest complaints that I've always heard from the data team is that they spend too much time on prepping the data because they were accessing the raw data. Today, there are all these transient tables, you have all DBT and others to make your own jobs to prep the data automatically, and that's all great. Now, but you have created a lot more tables and joins and views inside. It's a matter of understanding which one is the right model to use. That's becoming more important. But it is hard because you have to now consider hundreds or thousands of different tables that are created for analysis, and you need to figure out which one is the right one to use.
Okay, well, once you start looking through like hundreds or thousands of different tables, I can see how that becomes a very difficult problem to discover what's going on. And certainly, even in like a fairly small enterprise or small company, you're going to get like a pretty large set of data there.
Yeah, I would say in a way there are two parts. One is if you've been in the company for like, I don't know, more than 6 months, then you might already have a pretty good idea which are the trusted data sets and which are the like a main data sets that I can work off from. But when you first start, this is really hard to find. Another part that I see as an issue that happens a lot is that you have a data scientist or a data analyst or an engineer that have built a lot of these models. One day, if that person leaves the company, it's very hard for the next data scientist or the rest of the data team to parse through what has been the main sources of truth that the person was using. And there might have been documentation or whatnot, but it's always really hard to dig through like all the work that they've done because a lot of it is embedded inside of their code and in their SQL queries. So I would say overall, in general, the data, work of data, and this is just kind of like as an industry, like the phase that we are in, the industry is starting to mature as we are adopting more software engineering practices. But overall, in the past and still in many companies, a lot of data teams work in their local environment. They run different SQL queries and then embedded it for their specific dashboards. So a lot of the tribal knowledge and then the understanding of using which data sets, how to join them, what to filter on. A lot of these are embedded as like a tribal knowledge in organizations today. And this is why it's hard to find the right data to use.